Today on Dr. Phil.
Just leave me alone, you psycho!
I'm the psycho, look at you.
He tapes his wife's tantrums.
You're beating your head against the wall.
She claims her husband torments her.
How hard did you hit her? Hit my
I
head.
hit her.
That's not how hard you hit her. How hard did you hit her? When you're doing the recording, you're a good director.
Stay away from me, ow!
But the camera wasn't running when you were touching her. You didn't bring us that video, did you? Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
This is a safe place to talk about hard things.
Stand by. We'll count you
I
down.
try to be an emotional compass and point you in the right direction.
5, 4.
I am not giving up on you. Well, Anthony and his wife, Melinda, have been married for almost a year and a half, and both say that today, this day, is going to be a defining day in their relationship, and I'm telling you that it needs to be. Both accuse the other of mental, verbal, and physical abuse and say they are on the brink of breaking apart their family. Anthony claims his wife's anger is so out of control that last July he captured this footage of his wife, Melinda, actually hitting herself in the head. Take a look.
You done smacking yourself in the head, Melinda?
What the ever? Just leave me alone, you psycho!
Oh, I'm the psycho, look at you. Stop it. Stop it.
Melinda, on the other hand, says that Anthony's constant badgering and controlling behavior drives her to the brink. Here's a video that Anthony recorded just 3 weeks ago.
Stop. Stop. Stop hitting yourself.
Well, after that night, Melinda says she ran out of their home with their 15-month-old daughter. She has now moved 6 hours away and filed for divorce. Melinda, who is 5 months pregnant, says her husband has physically assaulted her on a weekly basis during both of her pregnancies, but he refuses to acknowledge what he's done or get help. Now, Anthony, on the other hand, says it's his wife who is beating herself up. He says she has punched herself in the eye, choked herself, and even bitten him on multiple occasions. Now, he says she has even gone to police and falsely reported that he was the one that caused her injuries.
Stop! You're f***ing up my entire house. Oh, I'm the psycho, look at you. Knock it the f*** off.
My husband, Anthony, is abusive, full of drama, and out of control. And it's making my life miserable. When Anthony gets mad, he is like the Hulk. He has given me multiple black eyes, stood on top of my chest, jumped on me.
9 times out of 10, it's her just making things up.
Ow! 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 Why did you hit me?
Melinda has hit me.
Hit me in the Get away from me!
She's kicked me in the testicles. She's bit me several times.
Stay away from me! Ow! Ow! Look at her! She's biting me! Ow!
It's ridiculous. Out of all the fights, I have only fought back twice, but he's constantly telling his family that I am the abuser.
Look at you!
Taking my daughter from
Look
me.
at you.
You're the one cutting me off
Look
from
at you.
everything.
Melinda's anger is so out of control that she'll start actually hurting herself.
Stop it! Stop it!
I've seen her bang her head up against cabinets.
You done smacking yourself in the head, Melinda?
I've watched her punch herself and lots of other bad stuff.
Anthony is to a point where there is absolutely no stopping him. During my pregnancies, he has continued to be physically abusive. One time, Anthony followed me out of the bathroom and started fighting me down onto the ground. He got over on top of me and started choking me with both hands until the point I blacked out.
I've pushed her while she was pregnant, but I've never choked her out.
He had me scared that he was going to kill me.
Now, Melinda says the fight they had 3 weeks ago was the absolute last straw.
Anthony's constant abuse has brought me to my breaking point. Last month, I finally had enough of his abuse. Anthony started an argument.
Stop hitting yourself. Get the
Screaming and yelling at me, calling me a bitch, a horrible mother.
Get the away from me. That's what I want right now.
It was a very intense situation.
You win, you have her!
I kept telling Anthony that he had won, that I couldn't play his games anymore.
She was getting so upset. I picked up my daughter at that point.
Give me my daughter!
Calm down.
They just give me my daughter!
Calm down. Stop.
Anthony grabbed our daughter and started telling me that I needed to leave and I wouldn't see her until we got a divorce.
You just let me give her.
If I let you give her a hug, you're gonna snatch her from me and
No,
run out the
I'm
door.
not.
At that point, I snapped.
Mandy?
You just let me have her!
She pulled a kitchen drawer out on herself. She broke the door frame. She was banging her head up against the wall.
Then
Let
give
me
me
out.
my daughter!
Then I bit his back. It was extremely crazy and completely out of hand.
Stop.
I was finally able to get my daughter back and I left. I took my daughter and we went to my grandparents 6 hours away and I filed for divorce.
Okay, now, look, this looks like complete and utter chaos that's going on here. You knew he was videotaping you.
Yes.
Why are you behaving that way?
Behaving that way because what he doesn't include is for a good hour, 2 hours before that, he's following me through the house. He's getting in my face, screaming and yelling at me, cussing me out, and I broke down. I don't know what else to do. I mean, I just completely lost it.
So what's going through your head at that moment?
We've had a lot of issues in between us, and me recording that, there's no hour before in this instance where I'm acting out of control. I've been accused of several things that I haven't done to her. I have myself, and I wanted to start off with this. I have been physically abusive with her.
What have you
and
done
she's
to her
also-
physically?
I have hit her before, and I've been very emotionally abusive to her before as well too.
You say you've hit her before. How many times have you hit her?
It's been about 5 to 6 times that I've struck her.
And where have you hit her?
I've hit her in the eye, and I've pushed her.
Because your implication in the
physically.
tape was that she hit herself and gave herself a black eye.
She has before as well. I
Did you
felt
hit her
like
with your fist? Did you hit her with your slapper? What'd you do?
I hit her with my fist, sir.
And how did you do that? Show me how you did that.
Just straightforward.
Okay. And how hard did you hit her? Hit my hand. How hard did you hit her?
I hit her.
Hit my
very
hand. How hard did you hit her?
I mean, I hit her
No,
pretty
that's
hard.
not how hard you hit her. How hard did you hit her?
I mean, if place your hand up again. I mean, I did. I reared back and I hit her in the eye.
How hard did he hit you?
He hit me hard enough to knock me to the floor.
And that's not true. You were sitting at the time.
No, I was standing up. You followed
doesn't
me
make
into
it
the bedroom.
better.
I was standing up and you knocked me to the floor.
Let's take a break. Melinda says Anthony has a drug problem. Is she telling the truth? Has he really spent thousands on his habit like Melinda says? Anthony says he has no problem with drugs whatsoever and his wife likes to exaggerate. I think this whole situation is just beyond toxic, but we're going to try to sort it out. We'll be right back.
My 4-year-old stepdaughter has been the source of the problems between Anthony and I.
She's called her a little brat, little bitch, devil child. One time, I struck Melinda after she called her.
Anthony uses drugs and it does affect his behavior.
Whenever Melinda says I'm on drugs, she's wrong. I'm not some hardcore drug addict.
Anthony smokes at least 3 blunts a day and it makes him absolutely paranoid.
In the past, I was smoking marijuana to avoid dealing with her and the problems that we were having, but I'm not currently on drugs.
Anthony's constantly blowing money but can't tell me where it's going, and I'm sure it's going towards drugs. He needs to stop.
Well, Melinda says her husband is abusive and a drug addict. Anthony denies it. One thing they can agree on, though, is that their biggest fights are over Anthony's 4-year-old daughter from a previous relationship. Melinda says it's gotten so bad, she demanded that Anthony give up his rights to his daughter.
My 4-year-old stepdaughter has been the source of the problems between Anthony and I.
Melinda does not respect my daughter. She's called her a little brat, little bitch, devil child. One time, I struck Melinda after she called her.
Anthony does not discipline his daughter at all. Every time I try, he tells my stepdaughter, Melinda's just being a bitch, you don't have to listen to her.
I do not allow Melinda to be disciplined because it's always excessive.
Early last month, we got into an argument about disciplining his daughter. It started a huge fight. I walked into the bedroom to get away from Anthony. He followed me in. He started screaming and yelling at me, telling me how I was being mean and vindictive. After I started fighting back, he then punched me in the face. Anthony hit me so hard that it gave me a black eye.
I never punched her and knocked her glasses off and gave her a black eye.
When he saw that it was bruising up, he gave himself 2 black eyes. So I could not call the cops and make a report. It's psychotic. Another problem I have with my stepdaughter is I have witnessed her inappropriately touching our 1-year-old. When I told Anthony, he told me that I was just overreacting.
Melinda's looking for a reason to punish my daughter.
I do not want my stepdaughter around my daughter.
She's tried to get me to give up custody of my daughter. It's completely unacceptable. If Melinda can't accept my daughter, our marriage will never work.
So you've asked him to give up his daughter.
After this last fight, I told him that I would not live in the same house with her any longer.
And you believe that's a reasonable request?
Anthony refuses to be a parent in general. He has said multiple times that he wants to be her friend. He wants her to like him, so he refuses to punish. He refuses to step up and be a parent.
Would that be a yes?
Yes.
So you've asked
Yes.
him to give up his daughter?
Yes.
You say, he doesn't have good parenting skills, so therefore I want him to terminate his relationship with his daughter.
I have not said terminate. I have suggested multiple times for every other weekend.
She's asked you to give up your daughter.
Yes, on multiple occasions, and I refuse to do that. I mean, I love my children now.
By the way, all these fights that we were watching at the top of the show here where you're beating your head against the wall and beating yourself in the head and tearing the door off the hinges, and where was the 15-month-old?
The 15-month-old was in my arms whenever she knocked the door over and all that was going on.
Okay, so you're walking around taping this, holding this baby.
Yeah, and
Right,
I was
so you got
hoping,
this baby in one arm and you're taping.
I was hoping it would be a deterrent, yes, but that's what I was doing.
Yeah, let's look at this again. This is while you're holding a 15-month-old child. Let's look at this again.
Get off of me. Get off of me. Get the off. Get off.
You just let me have her!
Get out. Go calm down. Get out. Go calm down. Get out.
You can take
Get
my
out.
daughter from
Get
me!
out. Get out. Get out.
Shame on you people. Just that is absolute, unmitigated child abuse. There is no other word for it. You are guilty of it. You are guilty of it. And that is shameful. Next, We'll hear from Anthony's ex-girlfriend, who says Anthony is so dangerous, she has a restraining order against him. We have kept these two far apart today. We're going to find out what she says was the scariest moment with her ex, Anthony.
Anthony was extremely abusive. I was being slapped, punched, having shirts, jackets ripped off my body. Anthony made me feel like I had absolutely no control over anything I could do.
Where's your money at? You've got money.
When it comes to finances, I am completely at Anthony's mercy. When I need money, I have to tell Anthony exactly what I need. He then decides if he will give me the money. When I went to a fast food place, I would have to tell him exactly penny for penny what I got.
That's a very ridiculous assertion. Melinda was the one that was in control of most of our finances until she withdrew $600 out of the account, and it put me short on a lot of our bills. At this point, I don't trust her with the finances. I don't feel comfortable.
Okay, now somebody's lying there, because that is diametrically opposing stories. You're saying he controls every penny, which is a form of financial control, isolation, and abuse. You're saying that's absurd. She controls the finances. Now, somebody's lying.
We have a joint bank account together.
We
Had a joint bank account together. I enjoyed the fact that we had joint finances together because you were better with money than I was. And until that incident when we separated that time, and I don't remember the exact amount, whether it's like $500, $600 that you took out of the account, I mean, my trust was really shaken a lot at that point. But I mean, at any point, if you've needed anything for our youngest daughter, or I've just told you to ask her that I'd go to the store with you.
If I needed something, I have to come to you. I have to tell you, and I will go to the store and get it. I'll get it.
As we've been separated, though. But before we separated.
Before that, and you have your cards. You have all the bank cards.
I let you handle
I think I understand. Anthony says he shares 50-50 custody of his 4-year-old daughter with his ex-girlfriend, Alaire. She is sequestered backstage because of a restraining order she has in place against Anthony. Here's how she describes her relationship with him.
I was in a relationship with Anthony for almost 5 years. In the very beginning, everything was great. After 6 months of dating, that's when everything started to change. Anthony made me feel like I had absolutely no control over anything I could do. I couldn't go outside. I couldn't go hang out with my friends. I couldn't talk on the phone without it causing a fight. I couldn't have any type of email or social media account. Anthony was extremely abusive. I was being slapped, punched, having shirts, jackets ripped off my body, being pushed down, shoved against walls. One time Anthony and I were arguing, and he took his fist like this and punched me so hard into my leg that you could see in the bruising the outline of each finger and knuckle. While I was pregnant, Anthony was physically abusive with me. Anthony shoved me, he hit me so hard with the palm of his hand on my face that it left bruising. 4.5 years into our relationship, I finally decided that I was going to leave him. After I left Anthony, he tried to destroy my life and terrorize me in any way he could. One time, Anthony showed up to my residence to come pick up our daughter. He started a confrontation with my boyfriend. During this argument, Anthony pulled up his shirt and exposed a gun. I feel like I did the right thing by getting away from him.
You're shaking your head no while you're watching this.
Well, there's a lot of truth in what she said, in that we had a very bad relationship, and I wasn't the best to her at all times as well too. I mean, I was extremely insecure with her a lot of the times, but the whole restraining order, that was done during our pending custody case of our mutual daughter.
What you seem to kind of gloss over. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in what she said. What she said is that you were mentally, emotionally, and physically abusive with her.
I was with her, and she was also with me as well, too.
Okay. Does there seem to be a pattern
Yes, sir.
here? Does it seem to be working for you?
No, sir.
Because you're going to wind up in jail. Seriously in jail. All right, I'm going to take a break. I told Alaire that I would speak with her. In order to do that, I have to excuse Anthony. He has to leave the stage because of the protection order she has against him. He's going to come back. She has a lot that she wants to say to his current wife about the man that they both say they fear. I don't think this is all one way. I can tell you that. I think we've all seen that this, like I said, one log won't burn. It takes two sides to have this ongoing controversy here. We're going to talk with Alaire when we come back, and then we'll have Anthony rejoin. We'll be back.
Every time Melinda calls me to tell me about fights that they've had, I tell her that you need to leave. Anthony told me that Melinda was abusing him. I did not believe Anthony at all. Anthony tries to turn everything around, but this is just another tactic for him to push the blame on somebody else for what he's doing.
Well, I'm here with Melinda. Her husband, Anthony, has just been asked to go backstage so his ex-girlfriend, Alaire, can join us. Now, Alaire says Anthony was a gentleman during their first year of dating, but after that came bruises, slaps, kicks, and what she describes as severe mental abuse. She wants Melinda to get the hell away from Anthony and stay away for good.
After Anthony and Melinda had been together for 3 months, I was already starting to hear about the abuse between them. I tried over and over to warn her about his personality. She either didn't believe me or maybe thought he could change him, but in the end, she did not take my advice. Every time Melinda calls me to tell me about fights that they've had, I tell her the same thing over and over. It's not going to change. It's going to get worse. You need to leave. On one occasion, Anthony showed me the bite marks on his arms. Anthony told me that Melinda was abusing him. I did not believe Anthony at all. Anthony tries to turn everything around to make it look like the other person is at fault, the other person is violent, the other person is crazy. But this is just another tactic for him to push the blame on somebody else for what he's doing. And that's why he keeps fooling every judge he gets in front of. If I was to give Melinda some advice, I would tell her to file for divorce and to do everything that she can to keep herself and her children as far away from him as possible.
Okay, Alaire, thank you for being here today, and I know it's easier not to because you've gotten out of this situation, you've got a protection order in place, you've moved on, but you think she's in danger.
Yes, I do.
And what do you want to say to her?
Please get away from him and stay away from him. Protect your kids.
Why did you stay for 5 years? Will you say that it got bad after a year?
When I was with Anthony, he would turn things around on me to make me feel like things were my fault. He would.
Did he do it with you?
He does that on a regular basis.
Whenever I would start to feel like I wanted to leave and end the relationship, he would do things to try to make things better, apologize, cry, threaten suicide, things to make me feel bad and to make me think that things were going to change between the two of us. And then towards the second half of the relationship, I started becoming worried about leaving him because I didn't want to lose my daughter and I didn't know how he was going to react if I go.
His threat is if I leave, he's going to take full custody. If I leave, I'm never going to see my daughter again. It is. That's how he scares you.
Why didn't you fix him and stay?
Because I didn't want my daughter growing up thinking that the way he was treating me and the things he was saying to me was okay and that was normal. I was scared for my child. But
my point is that even if we're not together, he's still going to be involved in the kids. You guys aren't together, but he's still involved. My concern is the kids, whether we're together or not. that's besides the point. I'm worried about what he's going to keep bringing and doing in front of the girls.
If you would show up to court the next time he gets another assault charge, if you would actually go and file the charges, not file a protection order and then drop it, if you would take these measures like I didn't and learn from my mistakes, you could protect them from this and he wouldn't keep getting the kids. And then judges would start to be able to see what's really going on and stop believing his lies every time he goes in front of court. I'm not trying to attack you, but you can do it. You have the power, you have the evidence, you've had the bruises, you've had your teeth busted, you've been stepped on after you found out you got cancer. You have everything you need that I didn't. I should have done that. It was too late for me. And now my child's still in that environment, seeing those things and hearing those things. I've read the police reports, I know what's happening, and it's scary. Someone's gonna get hurt or killed. He's not going to change. You can't help someone that won't help themselves. But those little kids can't do anything about where they're at and who their parents are and what we do with them. They have no control over their lives. We have to look out for them.
This situation is bad, volatile, needs to be changed dramatically. You're putting yourself at risk. You're putting your child at risk. So, Robin, where does this lead? I mean, how bad? You deal with this every day. You're in the shelters with these women. You hold their hands, you walk through their lives. Is this going to get better on its own, or is this going to get worse?
No, it will get worse. It really does come down to a choice that you have to make, and that is that you have to do whatever it takes to get out of that situation. You have to take the steps, and I know it's hard, and I know it's scary. And if you will go to whengeorgiasmiled.org, we have the resources on there. We list programs on there that you can read and that you can learn what you have to do. But the first step is to build a support system around you. And sometimes that's friends, that's family members, that's coworkers, but you have to build a support system that will help you do this. And you do whatever it takes. And sometimes it's a slow process. You start building a bag for when it's time to leave, and in that you put important papers. You put what money you have. You put special things for your children that will bring them comfort. And then you do not listen to his threats. The number one tool an abuser uses is to isolate you and then start abusing you with threats and telling you that he's going to take your children from you. And another important thing to do is to document, just as you said, document everything that he's doing with pictures and telling your other friends and everything about it. But there is a step and a process, but the number one thing you have to do is to remember you have to be safe, and for you and your children.
Talk about separation assault for a minute, because that period of time when you separate from the abuser and they panic is a high-risk period of time.
That is when the most deaths occur. After you leave your abuser, that's when more deaths occur. So that's why I say take your time and do it with safety in mind.
Yeah, I mean, the point is it's not easy, and it is dangerous to try to get away, because it's what's called the frustration effect. Abusers try to control, and when you slip away, they panic and they try to increase that control. And that's when they get desperate and do desperate things, which is why this going to mom's house or sister's house is often not enough, because they know where mom's house is, they know where sister's house is. And look, this is a situation that is very volatile. You're putting yourself at risk, you're putting your child at risk, you're putting your unborn child at risk. That is highly unstable behavior. You've got to calm down. You've got to quit believing. Has he ever done one sustained effort to change who he is?
No.
Has he ever gone to anger management classes in a sustained way? Has he ever gone to any type of therapy program in a sustained way? Has he ever done anything to make a serious attempt to change who he is?
No, he started going to a batter's intervention, and as soon as they set him up on a 34-week course, he stopped going.
Yeah. So you think that this is going to just cure up on its own? No. It is not. And clearly your problem-solving skills are not good. His management skills, emotional skills, coping skills, stress management skills are not good. This situation is bad, volatile, needs to be changed dramatically, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I think that needs to happen. All right, we're going to have to bring him back out here. Listen, you were very candid in your tape pieces. You have looked her in the eye, told her straight up what you think she needs to do. You've taken very clear stock of what you should have done yourself.
Yes, sir.
And I think that impacts a lot of women by your having the candor to do that. So thank you for being here today. All right. Next, I'm going to invite Anthony back on stage to respond to Alaire's accusations, hear what he has to say. We'll be right back.
I've spent time trying to fix our marriage. At one point, I had got us in to see our pastor for marriage counseling. He didn't like what our pastor had told him, so he stopped going.
Melinda was the one that didn't hear what she wanted from that pastor, so she decided that we shouldn't go there anymore.
I have tried to set up appointments with other multiple counselors, and he never wants to follow through.
I think I just felt frustrated about our relationship at that point, so I didn't want to have any counseling.
Well, I'm here with Anthony, who's been backstage listening to what his ex-girlfriend had to say. Anything in particular, quickly, you want to respond to about what she had to say?
I mean, she portrays it as if the whole thing was bad and none of that she didn't do anything. I mean, she puts on this portrayal as if she was 100% in the right 100% of the time, and I think that's false. I mean, I know that's false.
What would you say? Would it be 50-50, 75-25, 80-20?
75-25.
75 you, 25
80,
her?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I do acknowledge that I was primarily in the wrong
good.
with her.
All right, but that's in your past, and let's keep it there.
Yes.
You two have a daughter together.
Yes, sir.
And so you do have to have some contact through co-parenting, or do you meet through an intermediary?
We have an intermediary.
You exchange the child through the intermediary?
Yes.
So you don't have any contact because of the protection order?
Yeah.
What do you think needs to happen here in this situation?
I think we both need to learn better. I mean, the best thing I think I've heard is we both need to learn how to resolve or how to argue, I guess. I mean, how to resolve our differences whenever we get upset with each other. And instead of everything being a screaming, yelling, cussing match between us and things getting violent in between us, that we have to learn some way to get along better, or maybe it's best that we do separate. I'm not sure if we will work it out, but I mean, that would be my goal.
How do your mom and dad get along?
They don't. They've been divorced for some time, so.
How'd they get along when they were together when you were there?
They fought like cats and dogs, so.
You're living what you learned.
I don't even think that's an adequate excuse, but I mean, I guess it upsets me to hear that, man, because I mean, one of the things that I always tried to, through some of the things that I experienced in my childhood, I always thought that I could make things better. I didn't want my children to have to grow up in a lot of ways that I had to grow up, but I mean, a lot of it's happened. You're right. I mean,
but aren't you doing exactly what your mother and father did?
Yes.
So aren't you making sure that your children are going through exactly what you went through, that you hated so bad?
I am, and I need help.
about you? What do you think needs to happen here?
Most importantly, because I know that our little girl absolutely loves her dad, I would like to see Anthony proceed with help instead of making up excuses as to why it's okay and to stop blaming me, blaming Alaire for everything that's happened. But I want to see him get help so our little girls don't grow up thinking it's okay for someone to treat them the way that you have treated us.
Here's the deal. Neither one of you, in my opinion, are equipped to be in this relationship right now at all, period. You are an abuser. It is never okay for any reason to ever put your hands on a woman in anger, ever, for any reason, period. Period. You know how to do it when you're doing the recording. Now, baby, come on now. Steven Spielberg, I get it.
You're
a good director, I get that when you're doing the recording, but the camera wasn't running when you were punching her. You didn't bring us that video, did you? You are a broken young man. You need help. I'll get you the help.
Thank you.
It's a place called On Site. And this is a place that is really about relationship dynamics. It's really about how you figure a way to be a hero in your relationship. And I'm willing to make arrangements for you to go there and to get an intensive workshop to get you jump-started down the road to helping you in this regard. And if you're willing to do that, I will make those arrangements for you. And when you're through, then there will be a whole program of follow-up work for you to do therapeutically to help you become the man that you can be, because you aren't doing that now.
You're right.
It's my gift to your family.
Thank you, sir.
If you will take it.
Yes, sir.
You need to get yourself pulled together. You need help to get yourself settled down, calm down, and come up with ways to express yourself that don't involve beating your head against the wall or punching yourself in the head. And I will get you help with that. You know about Doctor on Demand, which we use here on the show. We have mental health services that we have provided for that with a doctor-level therapist, where you don't even have to leave home. You can sit there with your baby right beside you, and you can...
I've used it before for our daughter.
Well, I'm glad you have, and I'm going to make those arrangements for you so you don't even have to leave home, and we will get you started there to deal with this anxiety and stress, and then we'll move forward from there with whatever needs to happen. Until that happens, I will not even discuss this being a relationship. Okay? We're willing to start there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I want to thank all of my guests today, and if you want to use Doctor On Demand, you can go to Google Plays or the App Store on iTunes and get the app downloaded right there for Doctor On Demand. You will love it. We talked today about Robin's Aspire initiative when we talked about getting a safe exit plan. You can go to whengeorgiasmiled.org, which is her philanthropic foundation, and you will find links there that will help you. If it's whengeorgiasmiled.org and the Aspire initiative, there will be lots of information for you there. We will see you next time.
Bounce, bounce, all the girlies bounce. but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was the last time. I've always been naive. Call it